What's up, fellas? Today I filmed my leg hypertrophy session. I'm still in my hypertrophy phase, block, whatever you want to call it. It is going to last it'll work out to be about 4.5 weeks because each one of my microcycles is 8 days long. Most people, just a microcycle is 1 week. It's when you repeat the same sessions. Just because I found a work to rest ratio of 3-to-1 works pretty well for me. So I go 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, and then repeat that cycle. So I've got an 8-day microcycle. So this 4 microcycle hypertrophy phase will work out to be about 4.5 weeks or so. First thing you saw there was some hanging leg raises. Main reason I'm doing these is for whatever reason they make my back feel nice, so I've just kind of been throwing them before each of my axially loaded sessions. So far so good, just a nice little trick that's been making my back feel nice. Not saying it would help anyone else, but in my specific scenario it kind of prevents that cramping feeling in my lower back. And then I follow that with some couch stretches, kind of the same reason. Stretch out the musculature associated with lumbar extension. I don't want to use the word activate, but utilize the musculature associated with flexion or resisting extension. So for someone like myself who has a little bit of lower back discomfort, specifically when I'm in extension, so extension-based lower back pain, that kind of model of stretching the muscles that pull into extension, strengthening the muscles that are associated with resisting extension tends to lead to some relief. So that's basically my full warm-up before I get into, the more specific warm-up, which is low-scale versions of what I'm working up to. In that case, today is going to be squats. I'll be pausing all of the reps on my top set. But that being said, just to get some blood flow to the quads, on my way up, I'm just pausing the first rep. Partially me being lazy, partially me wanting to preserve the motor pattern of my non-pause squat. And the reason I'm hitting my top set paused, even though my goal is to maximize my non-pause squat, it's basically the percentage I'm working at this week. I would have to hit a set of 11 or 12 at 550 for that to be a personal best and project out to a quality 1RM. I don't really feel like doing a set of 11 or 12, so I'm taking that same weight, adding a pause to the most difficult point, which is a variation that's always yielded me good results, to get some good stimulus out of the same weight without having to do quite as many reps. That being said, every time I've spent a significant amount of time focusing on the pause squat, my ability to use my stretch reflex has decayed some amount. So by keeping some regular reps in there on the way up to get warm, the goal is to preserve that motor pattern. So as you can see, we're getting in a medium amount of reps on the way up just to make sure we have enough blood flow to the quads, get that synovial fluid moving in the knees, make sure everything feels decent. But now that I am warm, we're going to conserve some energy and kind of do more of a feeder set approach rather than get volume in on the way up. I've always been a big fan of getting volume in on the way up on upper body stuff, but preserving some energy and maximizing your top sets has yielded me good results as far as the deadlift and the squat goes. So that's the approach I'm taking. And that was not 500 for 8. That was 500 for 1. Pardon that, but I don't know how to fix that really quick. And getting into my top working set, this is a paused PR on the SSB, which is an important variation for me. I took 550 for 10 without pauses last block. So this is a pretty quality set for me. I believe this is indicative of my baseline strength being higher than it ever has been before. Last training cycle, I ended with a 720-pound SSB squat PR. So hopefully, on paper, I am on pace to beat that. My goal is either 730, maybe 735, so long as things are moving well. My knee is holding up well. Coming off of a knee injury last year, I wasn't able to fully train my legs the way that I would like to, really push the volume in the quads. Finally back to 100% able to do so. Here's a clip of Max doing his last heavy squat prior to the meet. 680 is probably going to be right around our second attempt. As you can see there, it almost moved like an opener. But generally speaking, Max's squats move faster. They don't move at all. So that'll probably be right around our second. We'll be looking to do around 724, whatever that kilo attempt is, as his third attempt in the meet. So then I moved on to my standard, some sort of squat pattern motion that is not limited by the lower back. Right now I've been doing full ROM leg press from a squat stance. And today was the first time I've come into a set just scared to do it in quite a while. based on what I had to do to beat the books, I needed to take 200s and 6 plates per side, so somewhere between 900 and 1,000 pounds for a set of 15 on these full ROM leg presses, which is a pretty sizable personal best for me, but that set really killed me. If you want to see the audio with me hooting and hollering, you can see it on my Instagram. It's a bit embarrassing, but I'm proud of the effort I put forward in that set. Big personal best on the leg press, which has been a helpful variation for me. A lot of people would prefer to use a belt squat in that spot. Just hasn't suited me well with my leverages, so I've always been more of a full ROM leg press kind of guy. And then I ended off the session with a quick burnout here on the pendulum hack squats. Just took 3 plates per side for a set of 17. Not bad, not good. I think following that set of leg press, you guys can forgive me for this not being that much weight. I'm going to try to build this up pre-fatigued at the end of the session. But yeah, overall, I believe this was a session I'm pretty proud of. Got to make sure I go get in a lot of food after this because my legs are pretty torched. As you can see here, I definitely am taking a lot lower volume, higher intensity approach for legs, which is not something I advocate for everyone, but it's been what I found builds the most positive momentum for me. So not my method, but what I use for myself currently based on what I'm seeing is working. Thank you for watching my video.